Hello and welcome to Be Free Driving School. My name is Wendy and on this video we'll be looking at Pelican and Puffin Crossings. Pelican and Puffin Crossings are traffic light controlled crossings. They are controlled by the pedestrian pressing the button. So we'll have a look first of all at the Pelican crossing, which is this one here. We can identify that we are coming up to a pedestrian crossing by this sign, which is warning us that it's some type of pedestrian crossing. Or we might also get this sign, which is warning us that there are traffic lights ahead. So when you're coming up to a traffic light pedestrian crossing, at this point, you're not going to know whether it's a pelican or a puffin. And to be honest, at this point, it doesn't matter. The main thing is when you see a red light, which means stop, that you stop before this stop line here. With a pedestrian crossing, the lights will change once the pedestrian has pressed the button. Now, the pedestrian could move away after they've pressed the button. The light will still change on a pelican crossing. We'll talk about puffin crossings in a minute. So although there's nobody standing at it, as you approach it, the lights could still change. So just be aware of that. So as we approach a crossing, we're going to use our mirror signal maneuver routine, which is what we use for all hazards. We're going to check the mirrors, we're going to start braking, and we're just going to anticipate that, the lights could change. And obviously if they don't, great, we proceed. If the lights do change, then obviously, as I said before, we're just going to stop before that stop line. Now, this does have an island in the middle, but that's just for the pedestrian to wait. It's still one crossing, just be careful. Especially if let's say you are this car here, by the time the pedestrian gets to here, let's say they've walked very slowly, they might be elderly, the lights may change. On a pelican crossing, you will get a flashing amber. After the red light, you will get a flashing amber, which for the pedestrian means if you've started to cross the road, get to the other side as quickly as you can because the green light is going to come in a minute. So that's what the flashing amber means for the pedestrian. For the driver, the flashing amber light means if there is anybody crossing, let them cross. Otherwise, you can continue. In a way, it's a little bit dangerous, really, because as a driver, you're being told that you can actually go. And as a pedestrian, you're being told that you can continue crossing. So just be careful. As I say, this person may get to the middle. It may turn to flashing amber. Let them continue. Even if that person gets there and it turns to green, anticipate, green means go if it's safe. So just make sure that that person is going to wait in the middle there and they're not going to continue crossing. As I always say, expect the unexpected and trust no one. These zigzag lines mean that we shouldn't stop, wait, park, drop off passengers, pick up passengers in that area for safety's sake. Now, this is a puffin crossing. And as I said, if you're coming up to a crossing, you wouldn't be able to necessarily know which is a puffin and which is a pelican because, as I say, the main thing is the light turns red, you stop, you let the person cross. So the difference will be now that you're not going to get a flashing amber light. The puffin crossing they have up here, you can see these have sensors up here which can detect if there's anybody on the crossing. If someone, for example, we talked about if somebody pushes the button and walks away and doesn't cross, the lights won't change. The other thing is, once somebody, if there's 100 school kids crossing, the sensors will keep the lights on red until they cross, which is, once again, it's safer. Once the sensors have detected that the person has cleared the crossing, then it will turn to normal amber and then green. So there's no flashing amber light. So that's the difference between the puffin crossing and the pelican crossing. Now, this crossing has got what we call a toucan crossing as part of it. Some people think a toucan crossing, if you've heard of it before, they think it's a separate crossing. But you can get a toucan crossing within a puffin or within a pelican. And all it is, as you can see on the lines, on the floor, you have 2 lanes. You have a cycle sign there, and you have one for the pedestrian. So what happens is, on the traffic lights, when the green man appears to tell the pedestrian that they can cross, there'll also be a green cycle telling the cyclist that they can ride across. So it's only at 2 crossings, so 2 can cross, so it means 2 can cross, which is the pedestrian is 1, the cyclist is 2, so 2 can cross, but the cyclist can cycle across. If it's not a 2 can crossing, the cyclist should actually get off their bicycle and push it across. Hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss future videos. Bye bye.